What a beautiful deep blue Texan sky today. Yeah, it's absolutely gorgeous. Not sure if you guys can hear off in the woods. You can hear the insects still. It's like noonish, but you can still hear the crickets and cicadas. I believe that's what we're actually hearing. Welcome to my channel. Today is a couple of days before my 63rd birthday. I'm testing out for the first time my linear microphone plugged into my ZV-1. I recently did a review on the ZV-1, and I haven't turned off the fans, haven't turned off the air conditioning. I have my hair pulled way back in this Texas heat. It's just the easiest thing to do. So yeah, a couple of days before my 63rd birthday. By the time I publish this, it will probably be a few days afterwards. So yeah, that's on my mind. I was thinking a few minutes ago, it's a little bit sad. I remember the earliest birthday that I remember celebrating, I was either 2 or 3. I think I was 3. And my brother passed away on that 3rd birthday. He was born with a heart defect. My mother always said it was a hole in the heart. And back then, that would have been born in 1961. They didn't do open heart surgery on children. Just a little different situation. He spent a lot of time in the Children's Hospital in Indianapolis, a very well-known hospital. And I remember my birthday, I understood it was my birthday, and all of a sudden I was shifted to the neighbor's house, and my parents weren't there. And my neighbors held a little birthday gathering for me at their kitchen table. For a person 3 years old, that's pretty significant to remember that. And I remember feeling happy yet confused. I felt uncomfortable because I was at my neighbor's house for my birthday. Many, many years later, I understood why that came to be. Yeah, I remember that birthday. I remember a 5th birthday. I was an extremely shy child. And I moped and pouted and kind of hid, and I remember the pictures of my birthday. I had a plaid dress. My mother always liked to dress me nicely. I had on a plaid dress, and I was scowling. Oh boy, I was scowling. I remember a 12th birthday. We had invited a couple of 2 or 3 of my friends over, and I had a friend that totally enjoyed doing really goofy things. My mother asked me what kind of birthday cake I wanted, and I loved angel food cake, and she said, "You want an angel food cake for your birthday?" Yeah, homemade. I didn't want it from a box, homemade, and Mom was really good at making those. Funny story though, we lived on a house on a concrete slab. And even though we were on that slab, she wouldn't let us jump around in the house while that angel food cake was baking, because she said it would fall. That floor isn't going to move. It's not going to balance, say, like a hardwood floor or something else, like a house that's sitting on a crawl space. But anyhow, that's a fond memory. At some point during that little birthday celebration, my girlfriend said she needed to go into the house. We were celebrating in the backyard. And again, like I said, this was my 12th birthday. It was it's just, I have good memories about this time frame in my life. And later we sat down to eat the cake, and it was salty, extremely salty. And that friend of mine had went into the house and taken out the salt shaker. And she had put salt all over that cake. Oh, what a memory. Then, I remember birthdays after that. 16 years old was pretty special. 17 was special. 18, of course, was pretty much across the board considered the adult age. 21, drinking age. I didn't drink a lot, but it was a special birthday. The funniest thing in the world was my 25th birthday came along, and I was sad. I was depressed. I thought to myself, there are no fancy, memorable birthdays left. I've already went through the teens. I've already went to the 21. What's left? 25.
My father, I was in love with Cabbage Patch dolls and wouldn't pay for one. And for my 25th birthday, my father purchased a preemie Cabbage Patch doll for me. Now, that was wonderful to come from my father and my stepmother. That was just wonderful, so sweet of them. But the sad part about that is I put that doll in one of my kids' car seats, went home with it, and to the man I'm no longer married to, he has passed on since. He was an abusive, narcissistic man, emotionally abusive. I didn't realize what it was at the time. I have another channel that's focused on narcissism, by the way, because I don't want anyone else to go through that type of a relationship for so long and not know what they're dealing with. So I pulled up beside the house in the alley, and I went in and I got my husband and I said, I want you to come look at something. Well, as soon as he saw that doll, he got mad. Why'd you go and do that? I can't believe you spent money on that thing. And I was so hurt. I just burst out crying. I said, that's a birthday present. Anyhow, that was not a good memory to be realizing that at 25, I had grown up through quite a few years, and I was a little bit leery of what was next, and to have been really, really humiliated over a birthday present that I thought was so sweet and so cute. But anyhow, that's kind of a sad story. I think the best time of my life was around the age of 42. It's when I met my current husband. That's been 21 years. At 42, there was just this vitality. Nothing could touch me. You know, I hadn't gone through some of the health problems that I've experienced these past years, and I'm doing much better. I mean, I reversed diabetes, and now I'm dealing with a little bit of weight gain on keto, no less. And the weight gain isn't much, but it's enough. It has me a little miffed over a year's period of time. It's like 2 or 3 pound gain, and it's not going away. But for a 63-year-old, I think I've done well. I've been through COVID. I was sick for 6 weeks, but I made it through. No hospitalization, no having to see the doctor. I think that says a lot. Off of all medications, no more high blood pressure, no more diabetes medication. For 63 years old, I've got a lot to celebrate. Yes, it's rather scary to me. And yes, I often wonder, where did the time go? I mean, from 43 to 63, it's like, what in the world happened? The whole entire life. You know, and I've always, all my life, heard older people say, well, it goes faster the older, the time goes faster the older you get. I'm here to say it does. Could I give a piece, if I could give a piece of advice to, let's say, my young 23-year-old self or 13-year-old self, from this almost 63-year-old self, I think the number one piece of advice would be, don't be concerned about what others think of you. It doesn't matter. You are you, and you're placed on this earth with a specific life and a specific path in mind, and you're not going to please everyone. I think that would be the number one piece of advice that I would give. I am still an introvert and always will be. I enjoy writing, I enjoy being alone, but I enjoy moments with people. I just don't enjoy small talk, even though I enjoy meeting strangers and I will hug a stranger. And I don't enjoy parties that go on for 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 hours. I just brief gatherings and knowing that people are okay and knowing that they're happy and knowing that they're well. That means so much to me. I adore people. I think personalities are extremely interesting. To call myself shy anymore? No, not the way it was when I was a child. And that's the other thing. I think it's good for children to understand that they're not flawed. They just have certain personalities, and an introvert doesn't make you any worse or any better than an extrovert. And so I think those two pieces of advice just stick out to me more than anything. Number one, don't worry about what people think about you. It doesn't matter. You just be a good person. Do everything the best that you can do, not to try to please others, but just be a good person. Just be who you were designed to be. And the other part of this is, don't beat yourself up for who you are. If you're shy, if you're an introvert, you were given this for a reason, and just make the best of it. Just be the best that you can be. Now, I do see a lot of people, as I have joined in, stepped out of groups, that rely on, I'm an INFJ. I am an INFJ. We have a very unusual personality. We comprise about 1.5% of the entire world's population. There's Carl Jung, there's others that have this exact personality type. And yeah, it's a little bit hard to understand when you don't know who you are. And then later you're like, there's a reason why I think the way I do. But don't rely on that. Don't rely on being an introvert or an extrovert. It's good to know that, because it helps you to understand who you are. It helps you to understand how you operate in life. It helps you to just get through life and to manage. But don't rely on that. So that's my advice as a 63-year-old. The other thing is, I think the older that we get, I think the birthdays kind of become a little more important to us. We get a little bit more celebratory. Not like throw a drunken party type of celebratory, except a glass of wine or two doesn't hurt. But I think we realize that the celebration of our life, not so much our age, but our life, is really important. So I love to tell people, I used to shy away from my birthdays. I don't want that much attention, I thought. But I now tell people, celebrate your birthday month. Just celebrate it. Celebrate you, and just do it. So the other thing is about the birthday celebrations is, it's not how much money is spent, how much money you spend, how much money anyone spends on you. It's self-care and realizing that in God's eyes, you are special. You're a special being. You're unique. You were designed as a special person. And the other thing I think is important is, I went through earlier this year a time frame when I thought, gosh, what's left now? I started to fall into that. And I'm now realizing that I could live another 20 years. I could live another 30 years. That is really bad thinking when you start wondering what's left. There's a lot that can be left. And there's things that my husband and I are thinking about in our semi-retirement, and things that we're looking to do that gets us out of some of the rat race. And I think it's important. I think that you can't just throw in the towel and say, I'm 63 and I'm 65 and I don't have nothing left in my life. That is so very wrong. We're young. We really are. We may have thought our grandparents were ancient at this age, but we're young. And there's so much to look forward to. And a lot of it is right here. So anyhow, I have my UT Longhorn colors on today. Enjoying my t-shirt from I call it the UT store, University of Texas store. I think it's on Guatemala Street in Austin. It's near the UT campus. And I have a lot of fun when I get these t-shirts out and sort of start celebrating the season. August rolls along, mid-August, and preseason fires up. And NFL, goodness gracious, I don't spend money to attend the NFL games anymore, but I certainly enjoy watching them and hearing about them and seeing how the season rolls along. Anyhow, I'm getting off topic. 63, 60-ish creative. And that's the other thing. is keep that creative going, whether that be painting, photography, and it doesn't take a lot of money to paint. You can do watercolor painting. You can draw. You can go out and get into photography. Learn how to do that. Set up a YouTube channel. You don't have to be anyone special. Just be you. Just be you. There's so many things in life that we can do. And do not limit yourself at any age. Because, as much as I hate to say this, life is too short, and man, is it short. It zooms. It just feels like I got on a jet plane at the earliest age that I remember, which is probably about 2. I remember my brother being in a baby bed, the one that passed away when he was very young. And my mother said, "Don't touch him, he's a sick boy." And I remember being afraid that I would hurt him, and I would stare at him. And I think I even prayed for the little guy. My heart just went out to him. But it seems like I got on a jet plane from that age, the youngest age that I can remember. I remember screaming my head off one time. I was in a playpen at my grandmother's house, and I must have been 2. So I think I remember when I was 2. And until through now, it's like, wow. You know, I went 1,600 miles an hour and went from there to here, and it just like a blink of an eye. So anyhow, hope you found this video entertaining, and you have a blessed day, and I shall talk with you all later. When you see this, that big 6'3" will have already hit me. Bye. Take care.